right, welcome back. You made it through day one. You made yourself uncomfortable. You went out, you pushed yourself, you tried something new, you faced your fear, and you saw what you were capable of and how you were able to push through your fears. So that's awesome. Then on day two, you wrote out your distractions and you were able to figure out which distractions you'd like to keep and which distractions you're going to change or eliminate so that you can reuse that time and energy in more useful places throughout your life. So now that you've done that, we're now going to start looking at creating a desire in our life that's actually meaningful to us. I mean, how many people have you heard of, or maybe you even know some people who went out and created tremendous external success? They've got the house, they've got the boat, they've got all these medals and awards and all of these things, and yet their face kind of looks a little bit like that. a little frowny face. Like, it's cool, it's fun, like that's great, but yet they're not content, they're not fulfilled, they're not happy. Versus somebody who maybe doesn't have all these external joys or medals or any of those kinds of things, and yet somehow they seem to be more at peace, more content, more fulfilled, more happy. So that's why today we are talking about discovering a true desire. The roadblock would be having an unclear desire. And when I say an unclear desire, I don't mean that it's not defined, but I think a lot of times people get stuck in a trap where they say, you know, I want to go be successful. I want to go create this. I want to make this happen in my life. And they never really define why. And to me, that is an unclear desire. And that's a massive roadblock in our life, because this could have us working towards a desire our entire life in futility. You know, we're never going to get there. We're working towards something that we actually don't even want because we haven't defined why. So if you've had the opportunity to read my book, I'm full of it, and so are you, then you know that I was a middle school science teacher for a little while. And I got burned out on that profession, and I decided that I was going to get into real estate. And when I left teaching to get into real estate, my one goal, my one desire was, I want to be successful. I didn't really define why I wanted to be successful. And outside of just making a bunch of money, I didn't really know what success meant or what it looked like. And so I just started going forward. And I had a very challenging couple years, and eventually I was able to build a successful real estate business, and I was eventually able to buy a nice house and had a great wife and 2 kids, and everything was great. And one night I was sitting in my hot tub, and I'm looking around. I was in there by myself, and I'm looking around going, you know, I have everything that I thought I always wanted. I've got a nice house on a cul-de-sac, good friends, good family. I mean, I have a hot tub, right? And yet I wasn't happy. And it got me thinking, I wonder if maybe there's something deeper. Now, unfortunately, at that time in my life, I wasn't quite far enough along in my journey to really take it the step further. So I just continued to pursue success, external success. And so my next goal was, I want the bigger house. I want the nicer house. And so I started working really hard. I was able to, really create a very productive business. I was able to generate a lot of income. And then I got the new house that I had been dreaming of. Moved into the house, and almost immediately I became depressed. So what's that all about? I finally created my goal. I got there, and I got sad. And through a lot of self-reflection and discovery and working with coaches and therapists to help me work through this, I discovered what had happened was that I was actually pursuing a desire that wasn't that important to me. Like, don't get me wrong, the house is great, money is great, it's fun for a little while, but eventually that new car smell always wears off. And that's what happened to me. So then I started looking deeper. What's my true desire? What do I really want to create in this life? And that's when I was able to come back full circle, to come back to teaching, but teaching in the way that I want to teach, teaching in a way that fills my cup, that fuels my desire, that fuels my purpose. Now I'm here to tell you that this is absolutely possible for you too. Those people that we recognize that are like, how are they so happy? How are they so content and fulfilled? In some way, shape, or form, they figured this out. So this is possible for you, absolutely. It really just becomes a matter of defining what you really want out of life, so that you don't spend the next 40 years pursuing something only to find out, oh, that's not actually what I wanted at all. So how do we do that? Well, to oversimplify it, we ask a lot of questions. We just ask, and I don't even know if that's oversimplifying it. That's just really the way that it is. We ask a lot of questions. So I'm going to show you something here that I call the why hole. And the way that the why hole works is we start with a desire up here. Whoops. And the desire for me was I want to be successful. What does that mean? It means I make a bunch of money and I buy a new big house. Okay, great. So there's my desire. Then I ask, well, why is that important to me? Well, because if I have more money, then, life will be a little bit easier. Oh, okay. Well, why is it important for you for life to be a little bit easier? Well, because I don't want to have to be, working so hard all the time. Okay. Well, why don't you want to be working all the time? Well, because I really want to be with my family. Oh, okay. Well, why is it important for you to be with your family? Well, it's really important for me to be with my family because I'm a relationship person. Well, why are you a relationship person? Well, I'm a relationship person because I was, brought up in a home where my parents got divorced, and I feel like I didn't have enough strong relationships when I was growing up, and I want to build strong relationships with my family now. Okay. So why is it important that you have strong relationships for your kids? Well, because I want them to have a better opportunity than I did. Well, why do you want that? Well, because I care. And we go down and we go down and we go down until eventually we get down to some sort of life purpose. We get down to some sort of deeper meaning in our life, a deep desire. So yes, I want to make more money. And somewhere along this journey, I'll point out, somewhere along this journey, my answer was, I want to show everybody that they're wrong about me. I had a big chip on my shoulder. I'm going to show them. I'm going to prove to them. Aaron Rodgers is another perfect example. I've heard him do interviews where he's like, I fight so hard to become the best at what I do because when I was younger, I was small and everybody told me I could never make it. And so he's a fantastic quarterback with a gigantic chip on his shoulder. Is he happy? I don't know. You'd have to ask him. But it seems to me that he's going after a desire without really getting down to what his deeper purpose is. So anyway, the whole point here, though, as you set a desire, what we're getting at here, the roadblock is that we set a desire up here and then we just say, all right, let's put a game plan in place and let's just go achieve this. And we don't really know why we're achieving it. So my challenge to you this week is to start asking questions. Start figuring out why. What's the real reason that you want to achieve this desire? Is it because you have a chip on your shoulder? Well, why do you have a chip on your shoulder? What are you going to accomplish by getting this? Is that going to remove that chip on your shoulder? So it's really just about curiosity. So take a moment and just think about what would be possible for you if you started pursuing this as opposed to this. Think of what would be possible for you if you don't have to spend the next 20 or 30 years distracting yourself with something that you don't even really want, and you get to spend the next 20 or 30 years going after something that really fills you up, that really fuels you. Think of what would be possible for you. What would your business look like? What would your relationships look like? And not only that, just because in my personal situation, just because I'm pursuing my purpose, it doesn't mean that I can't have a house or a car or money or any of those things. Because as I pursue my deeper desire, those other things that I like and that are kind of cool and fun to have, I don't have to give them up. I can still create those as I go out and fulfill my purpose. So just think of what would be possible for you as you go down this and just start asking these questions and you get down deep into what your purpose is. So today's challenge is all about asking a lot of questions, getting curious about who you are and what you really want out of life so that you can put a game plan in place that is fueling something deep within yourself. Because when the what hits the fan, if you are driven by a deep desire that you can define why, you will smash through whatever roadblock gets in your way. And so this becomes a huge component of being able to crush any of our roadblocks in our life. So challenge 3 to crush through the roadblock. The roadblock is setting a desire that we can't really define. And the solution is to ask a lot of questions and dig down deeper so that we can figure out what we really want in our life. That's how we crush this roadblock on day 3. And tomorrow on challenge number 4, we are going to be talking all about emotional connection to the outcome of our desire. And I'll see you for week 4, challenge 4, day 4, whatever it is. I'll see you then.